Oh, excellent. Goody, 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 goody. Always helpful when things do what you expect them to do, which is a positive. Let's move that off there so we don't hit that by mistake. And then let's find ourselves on Facebook. Excellent. Turn that down and let's see what happens. And let's see whether the book of the face is going to behave today or whether the book of the face is going to be a pain in the proverbial, because that's what it does. There. Let's just tuck that lot. We've got all sorts on this desk. Hopefully not too much of a pickle. There'll be a bigger pickle in a minute. Good afternoon, Vakarina. Thank you for joining us today. Hi, Crafty Jacks. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Jan. Thank you for joining us. Let's just see where we get up to. All is a bit of fun. All is a bit of fun. And if I just offend that lot, I'll have everything all over the place. I don't know what I'm doing, but hey ho! So, because you can, and because you get tempted, I have a pocket folio from Tim Holtz and some file cards too, which contain this little lot, but I'm not using all of that. Good afternoon, Myra. Thank you for joining us from the States. Hello, Carol. Good afternoon, Deborah. Facebook's not uploading on its live screen. That doesn't help matters. Good afternoon, Margaret. Hi, Connie. Good afternoon, Jill. As I say, so I have these two products, and I have lots, excuse me, of Stamperia products left over. From previous product makes, and so I thought I would have a little bit of play, because as we know, I'm on a mission to use up stuff, use some things that maybe I haven't used very frequently, and also to have a bit of fun. So let's just take those bits out of the way, because they're covers for the front and back, and we don't need that. And I've got these. So this is the book is a Concertina album. As you can see, I've done quite a lot of prep, but it's a little Concertina album, comes as it is, and it also comes with some linen tape for closing it. That we might or might not use that. We'll see. We'll see, because they have it as a design to go underneath, round and over, which might not work quite so well. So that's what I'm intending doing and planning on today. So lots of different things. So let us turn these over. Well, let's just take some of this lot out so that we don't have it too bulky, and that will no doubt cause me to be very confused at some stage, but hey ho. But if we pop these out of the way, pop that down there, then it'll lie a little bit flatter for us, because I've got some of those inserts in here along the way. So we'll go through the plan as to what we're going to do, if that makes sense. Good afternoon. Hi, Sarah. Good afternoon, Elizabeth. Hi, Maria. Good afternoon, Julian. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we have all sorts of bits and pieces. We did a little bit of a chop up of stuff because that's cool, isn't it? And then that allows us to do that. So this is the inside of the cover, and the measurements are all slightly different, just to be a pain in the butt. And to be fair, I don't like these little corners there and there, but that is part of life. So rather you know, so as I say, I'll do some measurements. So that the cover, inside of the cover, is 11.5 centimeters by 15 centimeters, and I've cut this just a little short. So I normally take off 0.5 centimeter. And I know it doesn't meet properly at that end, but it's really not a problem. It's really not a problem. And I don't want white edges, so we're just going to convert this. This could easily be a page onto here, just happily. So we're going to do a little bit flippy flappy messing about, and just go for where we go. I might change my mind from my original set out, and I'm going to be using vintage photo distress oxide for this, and we might just make some concealed paper clips along the way. So let's just add a little bit of ink around the edge. I could have picked Victorian pink, I guess, but I've reverted to my normal go-to piece, and I'm going with the pinks for this, but I could just as easily go for that. Now I have the single-sided 22 sheets, and I also have a pack of the double-sided, and to be honest, much as the single-sided gives you more paper, there are occasions when I definitely would much prefer a double-sided paper collection pad, but hey ho, that such is life. You can't have everything in this world. So let's just line that up, and I'm deliberately not wanting on that fold of the book, because otherwise it's not going to work very well for me, if that makes sense. And I want to create with this flap, I think, a little pocket. I might have changed my mind. Why don't I change my mind? There we are. We might just change, because that's double-sided paper, so why not change our mind? No, maybe not, maybe. Anyway, I have another piece of this paper that is cut 1/2 centimetre all round, smaller than that piece. So let's just pop that onto there, onto there. There we are. I think I made this initially when I was working, thinking about it. I made it into a pocket. So that's the joy of having the flips and the flaps included, is that you can make it into a pocket if you want, or you don't have to. It's entirely up to you. So that's just make sure we've got the text up the correct way, because otherwise that would be distinctly irritating. And we have got no moulds today. Hey, there we are. So we're going to make this into a little pocket. A little bit of glue up there, and then just let that glue hold a little bit. Good afternoon, Margaret. Hello, Sheila. Thank you so much for sharing. And then we'll go from there. And we do have some lace out of here. Oh, I know what those might have been for. Right. Okay. So whilst that little lot dries, I have a file folder from the collection. So from that, the Pockets 2 collection, and we're just going to add some bits and pieces to this. So I'm going to start with a little bit of inking around all of these edges around here, because the file folder will tuck into that pocket. I think conveniently they have all been sized appropriately. So let's just ink this all the way around, because file folders are designed to hold things but also to open out, aren't they? Oh, again, you could glue this shut and have it as a fancy pocket. That would equally work. Yeah, do whichever way you want. I think I was just planning on putting in there. And because of this wriggly bit here, I decided that I'd take the easy way out of decorating these, because it was just easier to do this. So this is just a stencil from the collection. It's a damask. It's quite a lovely one. It's been utilised. So let's just add a little bit there, a little bit along there. We might complete this today. On the other hand, we might not complete this today. We might end up doing some of this today, and having a second life with it. Let's just do that at another point, because why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? So we're just adding some little bits of extra detail onto here, and that will definitely sit into there. Yeah, cool. So let's just pop that there, and then let's just do what we're going to do. Now these pieces definitely not all cut the same size, because the two pages are slightly different. So let's just pick up the two that are the same. That goes that way, that goes that way, that's going on there, that one is going to go onto there. You see, there we are. So that we're just going to build these up, and I say each of these pieces is slightly different size, so my suggestion is that you work with what works for you in terms of the amount you cut off and how much you add and how much you don't. Let's just add a little bit of interest onto there. What have we got? I definitely must have thought I was going to pop that onto there, and I've got a little tag, but I might change my mind. On the other hand, oh, I know what I thought. I thought I'd make myself a cheeky little pocket. There we are. So there we are. Let's just, so this is just a scrap of paper. Let's go for the smallest of these. This is just a corner punch, so it'll just give me a little bit of a rounded edge for the top of that. Let's just pop, oh dear, I didn't get that in very evenly, but hey ho. Let's just see if, well, that's going to be what it's going to be. And then let's just, and the problem with doing this, once you start doing these, you have to, well, that didn't go in evenly either. Right, let's go for upper size then. That's better. That's gone in evenly. That's gone in evenly. There we go. Excellent. I think that's sort of in keeping with those shapes from there. And then let us take out a piece for the bottom, slide it into our corner punch. These multi-way ones just mean that you've got lots of different ones that fit what you want. So that can go into there, that can go into there. We will add that into, right, you see this is a double-sided, a single-sided piece. And I offer, but which will give you space for writing on, so it's not such a big problem. And then we have a little bit of a centre. Let's just push that up there so you can see better what's going on. Hi Sarah Jane. Hello Triadora. Good afternoon Kiki. There we are. We might add just a little. No, we're not going to add a bit of lace because it's going to go into a pocket. If I had a piece of lace at this point, it's just going to be too big and heavy. So let us find our glue, because that's always a good start. Now, we don't need masses, so let's just pop a little bit of glue all the way down there. There we are, pop that onto there. So we're going to see how we get on today. As I say, it's probably quite a big project in reality, so don't be at all, you know, so we might choose to do it as a couple. But again, just because I'm using these papers doesn't mean that that's what you have to do. You know, this is a project that would work with any set of papers that you've got left. Vacarina, I can't understand. I can't. It's not popped up translation for me, my darling. So I don't understand what you've asked for. There we are. let's just pop that onto there. We're deliberately going to keep these flat, because otherwise it's going to get in the way with going in and out of there. And once, there we are, so we have a little tag, so let's just let that settle down whilst that is drying, and then let's see what we've got. We have some of the washi pad, and we've got a few ladies from Greece watching us, so let's just take a little piece of this off here with a cutter. So this is from the washi pad. We'll add just a little bit of detail. There we are. Just cut a little piece to fit into here. There we are. Just while that glue is drying, so it's nice and flat. I don't like that half a one, so let's just get rid of that, and let's just pop. Let's just chop it there, and then we just have to hope that we can get it off the sticky, because it is a piece of washi, and I have to say that I'm not the most biggest fan of the washi, but hey ho, but it will just add a little bit of interest into there, and because it's washi we'll be able to see through underneath. There we are, so let's just pop that into there. So we've just added that little bit of washi. It's not gone on particularly straight, but that's okay. Let's see what else we might have to add in so that it's poking out from behind the the tag. So this is a set of the rub-ons that go with the collection, and I've deliberately kept them in the packet because it just makes life easier. And then we can mix and match. So as I say, this is just a way of adding just that little bit of extra interest without adding lots of detail. Yeah, my phone's gone off auto translate. I don't, so that's not very helpful. So I can't answer, and I don't think Macarena speaks any English, so that's not very helpful. So let's just pop our little thing into there. I will go into translate later on and hopefully pick up what those are. So let's just give these a little bit of a rub on and a burnish down, and that can then sit. That needs to dry before we do that. Now then, that can go there, and then let's just add, because we can, the extra little cornery flourish. Oops, onto here, and we might add just a little bit of stamping. There we are, and it won't matter if it goes up and over, so that will just add into there. There we are. Okie dokie. And I might just have to trim that just a little smidgen because it's a bit tight, and that's the thing, isn't it? I'm just going to take off the stitching on that side. And the stitching on that side is just going to make it a better fit for me. and that's just fine. You know, just, you shouldn't be afraid to take an element and give it a little pet saucy haircut if that's going to work better for you. And I have a very old, and it is very old, text stamp here. So we're just going to add some bits of stamping onto there, because that's what will work for me. And then I'm going to keep my embellishments reasonably straightforward throughout the whole thing. So there we are. So we've got a little tag into there. I'm going to say this is the file folder. So do I want that side or do I want that side? I think we might just keep these fairly simple. So we're in amongst the chaos on the desk. There we are. There we have. So let's just pop this into here, because once you start using a punch, you need to keep it consistent. There we are. So as I say, we're on mission use up. Always a good thing to do, isn't it? Is to use up. There we are. As I say, this for the inside needs to stay reasonably flat, because it's going to go into that pocket, and if I don't have it in the pocket, then I could add something that's more dimensional. But because I'm wanting to link things out of the pocket, that's better, Eva Karina. Yes, I can understand now. Thank you. Good. We've now got it, an English translation for whatever. I think Facebook, you know, as we know, Facebook have decided that they're going to start deleting lives, and I'm sure that relates to their storage capacity and the fact that it costs them to store stuff, and we don't pay for the service. So I don't feel that we can complain too vigorously about it when we're not paying for the service. But it is causing a lot of crafters a lot of heartache at the moment. There we are, as we might imagine. There we are. Let's just pop that onto there. Let's have a little look. What have we got? What have we got? We've got more rumble. But we've got a whole pack of washi. And as I say, I'm not globally convinced that I'm a fan of the washi. But who knows? Until you try something, you really don't know, do you? So let's just have. Now you could get a nice little cutter. Let's just chop this out, because we're going to need to do a little bit of a haircut, I think, anyway, to be more accurate. But I think a pair of scissors actually will work quite well. And we're going to have a big haircut of this because it's too big for the piece. So let's just have a little haircut across there. I think that bit can go, and then we'll just do a little bit of fussy cutting, neaten this up a little bit. Most of it, I think, because it's washi, won't be so obvious when it's ultimately on the background, because the background's got detail anyway. Well, that's the plan, because you can see, you know, you can partially see through the washi, can't you? So that's where we're up to. We'll just add, and again, this is you know, isn't going to add any depth or dimension to what's going on. So that's also helpful when it comes to you know, to doing things like this. There we are. So we're just going to have a little bit of a play. Will the book be usable? Well, No, I'm not, darling. I'm back on Wednesday. The Pentart are still... Actually, I'm going to get rid of the top of that because I don't like the shape of it. Pentart are still going through the new products, so just to be, you know, so they've moved it to Wednesday. There we are. Flicking it over. Pop that over there. Let's just peel that off, and then we can add this partly on. I'll pop it to the bottom of the page. There we are. And it's going to poke up and out, and that's okay. Let's just add a little bit of that stencil, that text stamp around here, just for added extra, because why not? So that's now looking less boring, but I've got a flat embellishment. And let's just take out another piece, and maybe I will end up ultimately liking the the washies. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, so yeah, Wednesday. Why Yippee? Is that to back on Wednesday? I don't know where we're going long term. I think probably I'll not have very many lives with them this for the rest of the month either, and that's fine, because for those of you that haven't picked up, my lovely husband decided that he would almost die at the beginning of the week, so much so we did need to start chest compressions on him, so that's never a good start, is it? Thankfully I am fully trained, and so he so yeah, let's get rid of as much of that washi as possible. Around the edges. So life is a bit chaotic and has had to have a bit of a rethink. I'm going to chop off now. In fact, I'm going to chop off all of that top piece because I don't like it. Don't like the shape, and there's going to be a lot of that white area. So as I say, don't be afraid to mess about and do whatever. So yeah, I am. Yeah, so actually being able to have a little bit of a breather is good, it's why I didn't go live in Crafting Together with All Brands on Friday, because I just didn't have the mental capacity to do so. And hubby actually did come home on Friday, but with a whole host of restrictions on what he can and cannot do. In particular, he isn't allowed to drive. At least until he's seen back in the cardiology clinic. So there we are. So picking from the back seems to work better for me for that. There we are, we can pop that off there, and let's just tuck that one onto there. And because you can see through, although the texture is slightly different, it's not so obviously that you've stuck an extra piece on top. There we are. So that works there, that works there. Let's just, well, while we're on the subject, let's just take that pretty little birdie. We might get rid of the top bit of that. There we are. We're going to have bits everywhere, because why shouldn't we? But there we are. Let's just cut out this. So you won't, as I say, you won't see me using washi very often. I'm not too sure how big of a bigger fan of it I am, but maybe I can be convinced by using it. Yeah, he really was very, very poorly. Let's get rid of the bits that we don't like. There we are. So yeah, it's just, if you use what you have, I've got these. For some best known reason, I've got two of them. 2 packs of washi I don't like. I can't think why. Maybe that might become a raffle prize at some point at a retreat. Well, okie, let's just get rid of that bit because that's not going to work. But that will. Good, right. So, as I say, just because something comes as a piece does not mean it has to be used as a piece. You can chop up. It's the advantage of the joy of being a crafter, isn't it? It means that you can alter to suit yourself. Let me see if I can see. I do have some ephemera from this collection as well. But as I say, this is about using what we have. So let's just get this birdie stuck where it's not going to. There we are. That's looking rather cute on there, quite like that, quite like that. Right, let's just tackle this last piece and we'll come back to here and then we'll have done the file folder. And thus far it's taken us half an hour to do one insert. We might be doing this, so we might be doing this over a good few lights. Good afternoon, Alison, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Deborah, thank you for Harold. Yeah, it really was pretty serious. Really was pretty serious. So my intention is to go live as and when I can, but I'm not guarantee anything. What did I do with those? Anyway, well, there we are. We'll tuck that onto that because everything has to be decorated nicely and cohesively. So let's just pop a little bit of glue. Oh, I've got Pentart's tacky glue, not my favourite, but hey ho, which explains why my fingers are now getting sticky. There we are. We'll pop that into there. We'll stick that into there and let's see. So this is why having, lots of coordinating products really does make a big difference, because it allows you to put the text up the right way. It's just as well, it's an interesting text that you wouldn't necessarily know that it wasn't that way. So I'm just going to cut off as much of that as I can and accept that I'm going to have a degree of halo in some areas, but minimise the amount of halo. And I'm partly swivelling the piece and partly using my scissors to move around because that's just works for me. But yeah, you can see it's not going to take me silly amounts of time to do them. I will have to leave at a sensible time today because I have to do the cooking, because he's really not up to being able to stand at and do very much from that point of view. Right, that's not lifting nicely, so let's just see if we can see. This is why I'm not a great fan of this, because you then have to get the backing off without destroying the top bit. And if anyone's got any tips, because I do have nails already, then please feel free to share them. So let's just pop that into there, partly on, partly off. Oh, and let's just chop the bit that I've not put onto there very nicely onto there. Do I want anything extra on there? Probably not, but you could carry on adding as you want. So we now have a little file folder that comes from the inserts too, and because I haven't added any depth, that will sit onto there. And let's think about what we're going to do to decorate this page, this bit of it, because it's altogether too plain and boring as it is. So let's see what we have. I have a little bit of ribbon. Remember, I mean, this will be a problem because it will make it bulky, but you know, this isn't going to be a headache long term. So let's just take that, grab some red liner tape. Or maybe we'll not grab the red liner tape because, oh, there it is, tucked over there. We'll just add a little bit of extra onto that. Because this is essentially a concertina journal, I can I can add lots of different areas. Let's just stick that into there so that doesn't go walkabouts and move about too much. That can go over there. Oh, throw that on the floor, why not? Why not? And let's just lift off that, and let's just pop just as an extra bit of decoration. Well, I can see that it's a bit bowed, but hey ho, there we are. Let's just take off a little snippet off the bottom. That will look better, and let's tidy that up a little bit, because why not? Nice sharp scissors would be better perhaps. There we are. And then I can think about what I want in addition to go on here long term. I definitely won't leave it just as it is, but I'm not too sure what I'm going to pop onto there for the moment. So we're going to leave that just with that little extra bit, and I can add on to it as I want, as I find things going through this, you know, mountain of gubbins that I have next to me. So here we are. So the Brocante collection has sewing theme stuff, teddy bear theme stuff, and also clocks, and also photography stuff. And I haven't edged that, so let me just take that and pop it onto there. So my inserts are all going to have a curved edge, but my main pieces are just going to be flat. There we are, because that's going to be easier. There we are. So in terms of Facebook messing about, I am in the process of uploading my my lives from assorted places over onto a YouTube channel, which is at Jill Humphrey 2212, but I'll put the link up when I have when I have this sorted. Okay, so that can go there, that can go there. And what do I want to go onto that page? Well, I'm really not so sure at the moment, and that's fine. So that one can stay reasonably neutral. So let me just clear some of this ridiculous amount of gubbins that we talked about. And we took out bit by bit, didn't we? Yeah? And then we'll have a little thing, because we've got lots, and I've got plenty I can play with, so that's also not a problem. Right, okie dokie. So let's just take that piece. As I say, I've got plenty. That'll be why. So this page is the next one in the journal, has a flap. Okay, so let us start. That's why that's only a part piece. There we are. So there must be somewhere a small piece of paper to go on there, and I think that might be it. But it doesn't really matter. So this is a scrap that I had left over. There we are. Let's just pull that out, because again it's going to make my life easier for working. Okay. And this has got a curve, so hence the curves coming round, and you could choose either piece that you wanted. There we are. And eventually, I think what happens with the concertina books, if you're not very careful, is that actually they become too big and too bulky. You know, if you start adding too many pages, and we're going to have this too big and bulky because I want it to have that sort of squashed over full feeling to it. There we are. Yuck. Let's just grab a baby wipe because we've got icky sticky icky fingers from the glue. There we are. So let's just pop that into there, and then that can go there, and then that's going to go onto there. So let's just that there, get rid of those pieces, and just have a little bit of an ink. So as I say, this is 1/2 centimetre smaller, both diameters, than the piece. So I've got that nice little border, and I'm deliberately choosing not to ink the edges of the extra pieces because it's just going to make my life easier. There we are. So there are flaps included in the book that you can then use as a flap, or you can make into a pocket. The choice really is up to you. So that's just, if I was going to use it as a flap, I'd have obviously carried that piece on all the way. So let's just add a little smidgen of glue down there, pop that up onto there, and just let that glue grab a little bit. There we are. I knew there was a method in. Ooh, dear. Let's just hold that while it grabs. Well, you know, this is more about an activity and having fun. Is it an art journal? Well, art journals are pieces that you make because they work for you, aren't they? So we have in that in the collection number 2, we have these little pockets. So let us just do a little bit of adding inking all around here so that we can pop. So I'm intending popping that in. There's several different versions of the on the of the inserts in that pack, so it gives you lots of variety. Might cause you also lots of frustration, but hey ho. There we are. So let's just grab a little bit of our stenciling. What have I just appended into there? I think we'll grab that before we lose it, because otherwise that would be moderately disastrous, and I'm conscious that I've moved that, so that's not very helpful, but that's okay. We'll just not worry about that. There we are. Just adding some little extra bits of details around here. There we are. There's a bit more ink on there. That's always helpful. There we are. It just is all of these little bits. Just allow you bit by bit. Let's stick that on there while that glues, while things dry. Okay, let's leave that. Pop that out of there. So we now have that. Let's just mop up that ink, because it will go every which way. So we've got teddy bears there, and we've got teddy bears there. Let's see what we have in the washi pad. That's a piece of paper. So let's just. Oh, I know what you've. Oh, that's what you've done with it. Let's just add a teddy bear in. There we are. I say, I have a feeling we might end up doing this over a series of lives rather than it all being together. And one of the plus sides of YouTube over Facebook is I can put them up as playlists. So if I, like I did the positive affirmations book, that went on over 5 different lives, that and trying to find them on Facebook is quite a living nightmare. Whereas because I've got because uploading them, I've put them into a single playlist. In fact, they're listed on several different playlists so that people can find them in different places. So I think that is a huge, will ultimately be a big advantage over on YouTube, is that it will make it easier for people to find stuff going forward, which hopefully I think will be a good move. There we are. So flicking that seems to be the method that works the best. Let's just tuck our bear onto there. Because we like to have everything all colour coordinated, because why not? We'll just add in some of that. Okie dokie. So we've got those all linked, and let's just have something on the back of there, because we've got lots of surfaces, and one of the joys of doing things like this is that we can use lots of different things, and we've got lots of surfaces, and ultimately on my shelves it's going to take up a relatively small piece of area, because whenever I make a canvas I then have to think, have I got somewhere to put it? And the answer is, quite frankly, often no, I don't have anywhere to put it. So it sits in a pile. Well, it goes on the side for a bit and then it transfers to a pile, and there it lives. And I've got lots of piles, in fact too many piles. There we are. Let's just take out our little birdie. Hi Anya, welcome my darling, welcome. How are you feeling now? Is your crafty mojo managing to come back, or are you still, is it still walkabouts, or did the Master of Magic re-inspire you? I know my live for Pent Art for next Wednesday will be with Master of Magic. I still haven't quite worked out what I'm going to do with that. I've got several ideas floating in my brain. I've got an 8-inch canvas that I might be using, because that's always very good and very helpful. So let's just see if we can flick the edge of that. See, flicking definitely works. And we can peel that off, get rid of that bit. I could do, but then I'd have the hassle of having to go and post them all. Do you think I'm lazy? I don't think I'm lazy. I'm just very much aware that I've got a limited amount of time available. Okay, so we now have a little pocket. That can sit in that little pocket over there, and we have a little tag that I think I'm actually going to pop into there, onto there. You don't want it there? That can sit there, that can sit, right, yeah, let's just pop that onto the bottom of there, just as a little bit of an extra in decoration. I don't want to be too bulky with my additions though. There we are. These layers are the most sensible and serviceable. Interesting. Yuck. she says, with sticky, icky, mucky fingers that can go over there. There we are. So that's 2 different inserts now. I'm aware that that's partly off camera, and that's fine. As I say, I don't want to be specifically doing too much. Okay. A lot of that's going to get... Was that for that? Yeah, it was for that. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to pop that in. So we're mixing and matching. We have different plans. We have lots of plans. Hi Renee. There we are. Hi Betty, thank you for joining. So this is very much a paper craft mate today, but that's okay. We don't always have to have out the resins and stuff. I partly because I cast 10 sets of resin for a workshop that I'm doing at a retreat in a couple of weekends time, and that required me to, well, I've used 600 mils of resin, possibly 700, which is quite a lot of resin. There we are. So that's the background piece for there. Now then, one of the other pieces that is in the folio pack is this piece. So let me just give it a jolly good push to reinforce all of those pieces. Okay. Right. Then I just have to think about what I wanted to do. There we are. So let's just have, because this is an embellishment, we will just do a little bit of sneaky, or quite a lot of little punching. There we are. So this little accordion book. So you can see that that actually this little book, if you wanted it as a photo book, ultimately will hold lots of the small scale feed printer type images for you. Lots of places to put ephemera. So, you know, even though it might take us a little bit, let me just come back up into here, and I think we're just going to pop that into there. And it's going to sit on the page, so that means we can add a little bit of lace onto that. Inside we can't add lace because it would be too difficult for the whole thing. There we are. There we are. Let's just chop that. Where's that nice pair of sharp scissors, because that's always also very helpful. A nice decent pair of scissors makes life easier. So you can see I've chosen a collection of products to work with, and then I'm going to keep them consistent. So we've got a little, this has been cut out from one of the papers. It's not a tag, but it was in one of the papers that I've got a scrap left of. So there we are. So let's just add him onto there. We don't then need to add very much, and that can sit up and over that little piece of lace, so it's just poking out the other way. There we are. Let that glued grab. He definitely is. Hello Renee, welcome my darling. So this is the Brocante collection. It's a mixture of different things, so we can have, you know, teddy bears, there we are, sewing clocks, and or watches and photography equipment, depending on what we want to do. But it'll look cohesive because we've got, I think we're going to do that. Okay, so inside we're going to keep fairly simple. You might just have to find some more of those washy elements, but that's fine. We'll put the 2 pages down and then we can add. And I might just, because it's going to make my life easier long term, add a magnet, she says. Can I separate these 2 magnets? This is asking for trouble, isn't it? There we are. Put that up on there. So I stick those on my if I don't have a mechanism for closing this, then what will happen is that ultimately in the book it will be a pain in the butt. So please, if you've got healthcare issues, or you have to use a pacemaker, don't put a magnet in. But for me, that's not a problem. All right. Let's see. Oh, it is going to hold. That's always a benefit, isn't it? That's going to glue down onto there, so I can pop that into there. Okay, and that will hold that nicely closed. That might flip, but that's less of a problem. It's the opening side that will cause me grief. I've got sewing stuff there, so I'm going to use the reverse of this piece of paper here, because I don't want another sewing theme piece into there. And I've got more sewing themed ephemera, but that's, again, it doesn't really matter. I could just add a floral, because we've got florals, haven't we? There we are. Excuse me. There we are. Pop that onto there. And let's go back to our washi paper. There we are. Just add little embellishments. They just make such a difference overall. Yeah, and if it just sits as a book to be lifted up and looked through, then that's equally fine. But if it sits and gets used for photographs, then that's equally fine. None of these pieces I'm adding are going to cause me lots of problems on that. Hello Glynis, welcome darling, welcome, welcome. There we are. Let's just clear some of these gubbins along the way. And the joy of these is that they are, as I say, uber flat, so they're really not going to cause me lots of headache overall, whereas a bulky embellishment might cause me problems in the long term. And they're just adding those little extra details into the piece as we go. And I think this is why I didn't like the washi, because it's a fiddle faddle. However, because you have to cut it out and then you have to pick the backing off. But as I say, everything has its place. So, you know, we've got pieces that will work then. And now I think, do I want a floral? No, we're not going to have a floral. You know, you've got everything that you want then, haven't you? But I am going to, I think, just add in, because we can, a little bit of stamping onto that very plain page, because it's quite, although there are multiple layers on that brown, you know, that tan piece of paper, there's not got as much detail, and these will help link everything together. So, you know, so I'm keeping to the washi, the papers, the brown ink, and that one text stamp. And by doing that, I will have. Let me just take this one as well. I will have pieces that will work together, and hopefully it'll encourage people to start multi-layering their products together, as opposed to buying lots of different products with lots of different things and then them sitting there. Hi Helen. That's okay, Helen, life carries on. I've seen your wonderful journal from this morning's workshop with Liz. That looks a fab workshop. My lovely friend Liz Wheeler is doing something she's calling £10 Tuesdays, but as Sunday wasn't a Tuesday clearly, but so I'm not completely mad, but she's definitely there we are, running workshops. So if you've got, you know, projects or products and you're short of things to do, she'll publish a list of what she's using in terms of materials. It's a closed group, so that you can then watch them, and I'm sure she'll then download them to her YouTube page for permanent archiving, which will be helpful. And she'll cover lots of different techniques, I think. So let's just pop that onto there. That can go onto there. Have we had enough of faddling with that? Yeah, we have. We have. You see, can't use that because it's upside down. And text in the wrong direction would definitely do my head in. So for those, this is, I think, these little folios, I think they're probably moderately expensive, but by the time you actually get all of the pieces together, you know, to make your own from scratch, it all adds up. So sometimes you're better, you know, it's easier just to buy a pre-made base and then just go for it and have fun, which is what I've decided to do. There we are. Let's just take that one, because the brown is altogether too boring. There we are. I watched someone today putting text all the wrong way, messed with my original. How can I? Yeah, well, it happened. Yeah, well, it does my head in. That's why I film in portrait, in landscape mode, with my camera overhead. So the view that I have is hopefully the view that makes sense for when you're working. Right, now then, I'm rather thinking that because this is washi, I can pop this across the two. What do we reckon? Because it should be flexible enough to come across the two. And we have at least made a bit more progress from the 2 pages in. Well, maybe we haven't, given that it's 4 o'clock. And there's lots of pages, isn't there, in this book? So I have a feeling that we might ultimately do this over a few lives. Because it will probably take a lot longer than even 2 hours a day. Excuse me. Oh dear. Just while I sneeze, because that's always good, isn't it? There we are. There we are. Now, the inevitable faffing. When I get the back off that, there you are. Bigger pieces, it's definitely, oh, she says lifting it and then squashing it back down. Well, really, woman? There we are. That can go there. And because this is flexible, I can pop that, I think, across the 2 pages. That works quite nicely, and that will work for there. So that, oh, and that's still closing, but it's a concertina. So just when you thought you were going to get rid of me from this point at this one, and I'd be calling that a day, we're we've got 2 more to go. But that means that this piece will hold 4, 6 pieces, you know, six photographs if that's what you want to add. Quite happily. Onto your piece. There we are. There we go, that's better. You see how what starts out by looking like a small project, so you know, and a small book ultimately can hold thank you, quite a lot of pieces. There we are. And of course, because it's concertina, there's 2 sides to this and the front and back covers, so yeah, it all adds to the fun of life, doesn't it? Let's pop the text up the right way. There we are. Good. That can go there, that can go there, that can go there. And what do we fancy? Sacrilege. See what I mean by I'm not afraid to chop things up. Because the whole piece is too big to go into one area, whereas the reduced half piece can go. You can have a piece top and a piece bottom. That way you use slightly less embellishments overall. So we're going to add that little piece down there, and we might give this one a little bit of a haircut. Yeah, it's still too big. So that little piece I've just chopped off there I will throw out, but because it doesn't make sense because it's part way through. But the greenery will add to the piece and will overall end up looking quite nice, I think. Well, that's the plan. There we are. Okay. Oh, I've got it up the right way. Thought for a minute I popped it on upside down. That would definitely do me head in. So you can see how these little inserts that come from, you know, in the folio pack 2 from Tim Holtz, how those have added in to the mix and just allow me to, you know, add more pages. Now you could, you know, to be fair, you know, you could make all of these different inserts for yourself quite happily. You know, bit of a template from the lovely Liz Wheeler, one of her journal it ones maybe, or just work it through for yourself. There we are. So we now have that and that, which we quite like, so that will open like that, and it will also open like that. That's just because it's going to be quicker than adding sticky tape than glue. There we are. Red liner tape every which way. It's not very nice. Let's just add a little bit of extra glue onto there, but we'll get instant stick. Okay. Let's get rid of the there we are. Let's just give that a squash down. So that will open like that, and will open like that, and will click shut, and that can go over. So we've got another one of those flippy flat pages. Let's clear the decks. Let's clear the decks. And then I can find the next bit. Right, so some of these I have put out and some of these I have not, but that is okay. Right, where is our little bit Heidi? That's going to go that way. Don't put the cursor on the wrong side. That can go that way. That can go that way. That can go that way. Right. Just add a little bit of gentle inking. Oh, what did I did keep the bottom of that flat. There we are. I've got whole pile of gubbins on the floor that I still haven't used, so that's okay. Right, so let's convert this bottom flap. That sounds positively not right, doesn't it? But this flap again into a pocket. There we are. I've inked that, so that's good. What masses of glue, because to quote the lovely Carla, glue is sticky. So these are literally just 1/2 centimetre smaller than the dimensions of the piece that I'm sticking them on. Okay, so let's pop that over there. And now I have to stand up, because why wouldn't I have to stand up? Because I've got everything all over the place. Yes. There we are. So the advantage of stencils like this that have different pieces in them is that you can then cherry pick out the bit that you want. There we are. Oh, I've got sticky hands. Good joys. Let's see where we've got. What we've got. Let's go with that one. Let us take the teddy bear. There we are. Yeah. There we are. So, yeah, we're definitely not going to do this in all in one life, and that's fine. We can have fun, and I can put it all together. There we are. Do not drive me too loopy. Just stick you up there a little bit. Let's just take this piece. It is at least making me use these pieces, and I've not hidden from the fact that one of the reasons I'm doing these, that my mission for this year really is to to use up stuff that's lying around. Make me experiment, think a little bit outside the box. Right, there we are. That's definitely not lifted nicely. It's not helped by the fact I've got stick. There we are, that's lifted better. There we are, let's just pop the U. Vaguely straight and in the middle of there. There we are. So you can sit in there. And then let's think about what I might want to put onto there. Well, the starting point is going to be to put a piece of lace into there. Go shut. There we are. Come on, shut. There we are. This is going to be a bulky book by the time it's finished. Bulging satisfactorily at the seams. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Let's see if I've got an appropriate piece of ephemera in a minute to go on to there. There we are. Okay. And that is a little concealed paper clip which I made earlier and which I will show at another point, but that will help hold that shut, which I think works quite nicely. Right, I need something to go onto the front of there. Now that could be a fussy cut image, could be fussy cut image. I know I've got some ephemera. Yeah, I think some of these might be, the ephemera may be too big because they're quite chunky. I don't like that, and I don't like that, and I don't. Maybe we'll have that. So that is a piece of ephemera from the collection. We know that they are sticky, but don't add too much bulk. These are leftovers, so that I'm using what I've got. There we are. So that can go onto there. Cool. Let's just pop that over there. So we have another page. Right. So that little bird will work on there. We'll work with this bird on here. So let's just ink this. Okay. And this is just a piece of paper cut down a little bit smaller, 1 inch flap at that end. So it's going to just add me another interactive piece onto here. So that needs a bit of inking now. And this is definitely where you need the double-sided papers. And then you just add another couple of spaces to put things. So that can go there, that can go there. And obviously flaps like this could be added from the top or from the bottom. The choice is entirely yours. Now then, what else have I got here? I've clearly got other bits lurking, and that's fine. So I could just add an extra piece there. Let's see if we've I know I've got another tag, so I do have some tag pieces. Can I find the tag? No, of course. I might have already used it and changed my mind already along the way, and that is absolutely fine. I want a bear, not particularly. So there we are. Aha! that'll be where I've put the extra tags and the extra bits. You see, I've still got quite a lot of this collection left. That's fine. We don't, we don't need to worry about that. And let's just pop that onto there. I think that will just make that a little bit more interesting than that background. Do I want another piece of lace? Yeah, I do, just because. And I know, and each of these dimensional, but none of these pieces are going to go anywhere where it's going to impact on closing an element. Okay. Come on, there we are. Let's just grab that vintage style lace. We can pop that onto that, onto that. Trim that off neatly. There we are. Let's just move that up onto there, and then you can actually see what I've just done, because that sort of helps, doesn't it? There we are. And we've got way too much gubbins on this table, all crept over. Let's just have a little bit of a clear down. That's the project we're working on, so that has to stay there. That can go there. That can sit there. That can sit there. Okie dokie. And let's just ink the edges of our tag. There we are. And then that can sit in there. So we'll just have a little bit of ink glue there and there. There we are. There we are. That will work. That will work. Oh, she says, throwing bits around the floor. Can she see what she's done with the bits that she's thrown on the floor? No, cannot, but hey ho, that just adds for the fun of life. There we are. We'll just add some of our glue onto there, pop that over there, pop that centrally into there, and then we've got an additional little flap. Let's just let that work. There we are. Okay. Right. I'll tell you what that is. We're going to do the inside bits of here, I think. Okay. And well, that's an interesting concept, isn't it? That must be the piece to go on there. You see, I like it when a plan comes together. And then we will do the second half. I think we will do next week, because having done the inside pages, which we'll flick through at the end of this, we will have then created half of the book. And we can, hello Josephine, good afternoon Blanche, you have no need to apologise. People arrive when people arrive. There we are, that can go there. Let's just a little bit, there we are, let's move that up there. Let's just glue that into there. Right, let's get this up the right way. Yes, that's up the right way, so that's always good. I don't want pieces at the wrong end of the piece. And then let's just ink this. There we are. So let's just straighten that up a little bit. The joy of wet glue. Straighten that. Right, pop that over there. Pop that little bit of rubbish over in the bin, so we've cleared up some of the mess. Okay, then we need something for in there and something for over here, so I'm going to leave that pocket and think about it, because I've got some other bits. So this is the back inside cover, so let's start by inking that. I did have a plan. Can I remember what the plan is? No. Does it matter? No. There we are. Oh, I might have had a plan. It might be another one of those Concertina books, because that's prepped. Yeah, we're definitely only going to get this done today. Right, so the other insert that comes in the pack of the inserts that come from Tim Holtz is, that can go all in there, because that's going to be used over there. Let's just grab this little boodle. Is this one? So it's quite a nice different shape. There we are. And let's just sort that, because all my other inserty pieces have got little curved edges. There we are. So this is a little pocket page. So that will sit in there. So let's just take this. We might be having to cut out another piece in a minute, but that's okay. And in fact, we might leave the other concertina for the other side. Might be more prudent. There it is. There we are. That can just tuck neatly into there. Have I got? There we are. So we have another piece to go onto there, and that's got a straight top, so we'll leave this as a straight piece. And I remember what I did. I can't remember what I was going to pop into the other piece, but there we are. We'll worry about that at another point. Okie dokie. I think I have that there. Underneath there. So let's just give that little flower, cut from the papers, a little bit of a cheeky haircut. There we are. So that can go onto there. The other half that from the cheeky haircut. Can then sit over there. So the kit is the file fold. There were two kits. Let me show you that I got, and so there's the folio, this one, which is the big book, yeah, and then the file cards too, which is this one, which gives you 3 pocket envelopes, 3 with a little cutout in it, 3 of these and 3 of those, so 9 pieces for about probably 10 quid. So I'm using about half of that in here, and I reckon by the time I'd actually used up all of the, you know, if I went and got enough cardstock to do this, given that it, you know, this is another side to this, yeah, I would be using quite a lot more. You know, just in cardstock, maybe not 10 quid's worth, but for the fact that it's all being worked together, so that can go into there. We have another tag. That will sit into there, and I've literally just taken a piece of paper and folded it in half for this one. Let's just give that a little bit of an ink. Let's just take that floral, because we can. And do a little bit of cutting. And then I will find something in a minute to pop in that other pocket. I've got plenty. There are masses of inserts, and then I have 1 pack of washi, which there'll be masses left over from, and the 22-piece page background sets that was partly used. There'll be masses left over, so I think the pieces you get the base album, and then it's up to you. You can make it without the extra pockets and tags and things, or you can then add into it. There's quite a few different options in the range that were available. There we are. Let's just tuck that into onto there. It's just going to add a little bit of extra detail. That can sit into there, and I think I'm going to pop that onto there. So it just helps keep these pieces in, and then we will need to find something to go in that other pocket that's not uber bulky. There we are. There we are. Okay. So what am I going to pop into there? Let's see what we have. Is that a double-sided piece of paper or a single? See, we've got too many pieces. See, that's not glued into there. Anyway, we'll worry. Oh, she says, knocking more stuff into the rubbish bin. Okay. Let's just see what we've got. So next week we can use some of this lot up. Let me just grab another piece of paper. There we are. So this one is from double-sided paper, and we're going to cut it about there. Right. About there, she says. We're just going to make ourselves. Yeah, they are lovely. A little book. So the book was 15 centimetres. So let's go 14 centimetres. Let's go 20 centimetres. So that we don't have stuff to waste. There we are. Come on. That's better. You have just clicked out of the thing. And let's us take the scoring blade and score that. There we are. Hopefully we don't need to trim that down. If we do, well, of course we're going to have to trim it down, but that's fine. We can just take, let's drop it down. So that gives me 2 strips that can get used for something different. So that's okay. So let's just ink these. And each of these in pieces, so I'm using pre-made ones and then I'm using non-pre-made ones. I'm sure your favourite Tim Holtz supplier will have these beautiful papers. Will have the folio kits in. As I say, I've got 2 more different ones. So next week we will do the reverse of this, and then the following, and then we'll use a different set of papers, and we'll do the other ones at another point. So that can then sit into there. Okay. And I still want something extra to embellish that because it's all a bit at the moment. So let me just have a little fish for those. There we are. Those tags. Let's just add another piece of that lace. So after the live I will obviously save it for the moment, then I will download them. So let's just pop that onto there, to there. And we'll flick it and then you can see what we'll have to do. We'll have the covers to do and the inside pieces on the other side. So what's that? These are the Tim Holtz folio and file cards 2 sets. And there are others, and I've used about half of the file card sets and and the whole of the folio, because that's one piece. Where am I going? I'm wanting to ink this for obvious reasons. There we are. So you can see how little by little you can build up so that you've got lots of extra embellishments quite simply. You've got lots of little tuck spots. I will show you how to do that, the alter paper click, next week, because we'll do one for the inside for the next one, because I think that we have been live for quite long enough today. Okay, so let me pop that out of the way. You see, look at the mess. That's because I've been working on an inky surface. Yeah? Fortunately, it won't matter. It's water soluble. So, okay. It will irritate me. So thus far, so that's outside of our book. We have done our file folders. I will find something to go on there. I'm not too sure what. Might be another tag. We've got another place. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces for photographs or bits there. A bigger photograph here. Lots of things to put receipts or guides or ephemera. We've got our little accordion here, which has got 4 more places there, closed with the magnet, and 2 more there. Might have been beneficial with an additional. We've got another of our little pockets, and this time this is the piece I will show you how to make at another time. Just tucked into there to keep that closed and in there. So another space for putting lots of pieces. We can put another photograph here and another one there, and then we've got a piece here that we can put 4 photographs into. Maybe more if you've chosen the smaller ones, and this pocket the tag pocket here with its smaller insert, all adding into the piece. So okay, so next week we've got back cover 2, 4, 6 and the front cover to do. So you can see that's probably going to end up about out here by the time I've added into it. Yeah, so I've got another set of pockets there, so it'll be a nice chunky album by the time it's all put together and all finished. Let me just pop that over there. So lots of inking, stamping, stenciling, cutting, playing around, but we've got lots of different pieces here. So I'm going to leave that like that, propped open for the time being. So that is all I'm intending doing today, ladies. I'm going to leave you for the rest of the evening. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Jan. Thank you very much. And thank you, Angela. So thank you very much for watching. I will pack this little lot away and leave it ready for next weekend. I think there are still is at least one space on the retreat that I'm teaching at up at Thornton Cleveley's, not next Saturday but the weekend after, so the 14th, 15th, 16th, and we will go from there. If you want to know about the retreat, then please message me and we'll get you the details. So ladies, please stay safe with whatever you're up to, and you know, do continue to be to enjoy life and make the best of what life gives you, because you never know what's going to happen around the corner. And I will see you live on possibly Friday, but definitely next Sunday with the second part of this make. So ta-ta for now.